What brought me to South Dakota? It was actually two people that brought me to South Dakota. When I was what got me to leave Nebraska, Omaha, and come here were two people. One was at the time Joel Nielsen, who was the athletic director, and a very close personal friend, and was one that I wanted to embark on the challenge of taking this program to Division I. The second person was Jim Abbott, the president, and his vision for the university. I think his integrity as a leader, his vision for what USD could be, and the emphasis and the role that athletics played within that. So, long story short, it was really those two people that you're only going to be as good as the people that you work for, and you've got to trust the people that are above you. In May of 2007, came here as the associate athletic director to help with the transition and the move up to Division I. So from there, I spent the summer of 2010 as the interim athletic director, and then after that, the senior AD for about 2 years. Again, was the interim athletic director, and then became the full-time athletic director here at USD in April of 2013. The nice thing about, I would say, about my job is no day is really the same as the previous or the next day. So from that standpoint, we have the opportunity to deal with 370 athletes, 17 sports, about 60 staff, the rest of the campus community, and all of our alumni and fans, not only in Vermilion, but across the country. That it's amazing the reach I think that this campus has. That being said, how much you have to stay connected with all those as well. I think a normal day of work is not normal. I don't think there is a consistent 9 to 5 in this job. The one thing I always want to make sure of, and probably one of the reasons why I became an athletic director, is to provide for the student athlete. And I want to make sure I'm not that far removed from the student athlete, their needs, and what their experience is like here at USD. It's important for me that they leave here. I want them to leave here and in 20 years think that was the best 4 years of my life. What do I foresee for Coyote Athletics? I still think that we haven't scratched the surface of what we can be yet. We've had a lot of success over the past 100+ years of athletics here at USD, and I look what's coming down the line for us, for our student athletes, from a facility standpoint. That's not just for the student athletes on this campus, that's really going to be for the university. And I see that as something that, for those that have been a student athlete and have been in the bowels of the dome, and you know what the locker rooms look like, you know what your competition, you know what the training room looks like, you know what all that stuff looks like. I think we've gotten to the point where you just kind of look past sometimes the ugliness of the facility itself. What I see for us going down the line is a state-of-the-art facility that, from a student-athlete's perspective, again, it comes down to making sure that we do everything we can to provide for our athletes. And from a facility standpoint, we will probably have one of the finer overall facilities for a school our size in the Midwest. I got two biggest joys as an athletic director. One is graduation. Watching student athletes walk across the stage. That, to me, is probably the most gratifying thing that I get to do. The other is watching the looks on the athletes' faces after a big victory, or after a victory. That it kind of does take you back to being an athlete. It kind of makes you 19 years old again and wants you to be in there. I try very, very hard during games and competitions, events, matches, whatever it is, to keep my mouth shut, because I would be one of those vocal, outspoken fans. Probably more of I'd be very much a cheerleader from that respect. So I try to contain myself a little bit. That's why you'll find me a lot of times not at practices. It's tough for me to go to a practice and not want to jump in there. But to me, the two biggest, I guess, thrills and enjoyment that I get is watching students graduate and the looks on your faces after a huge victory.